on freaking money. You know, it's the most slipperiest phone I have ever owned. It fell out of my hand and screwed up my tape. Shut it off. I've been having a heck of a problem with phones. So I went out and I bought a camera. And now I'm going to hook my camera up to my phone, and my camera is going to be what I make my videos on. I'm not going to make my videos on a phone anymore. The simple fact is, right in the middle of the video, they throw an ad out. Screws your whole video up and everything. I'm not going to make videos on a cell phone anymore. I bought a camera now. I'm going to make my videos on a camera, and then I have internet access. I'll upload them to my YouTube. I'm not going to use the cell phone anymore for important matters besides a phone call or make one. Everything else, they got control. Ads, everything. They just drive you nuts. So no more cell phone for me. Videoing. I just screwed up. I had a tape going just a minute ago. And a phone slipped out of my hand. It's so damn slippery. So now I got to go buy a rubber encasement so it doesn't slip out of my hand, fall on the ground. It falls on the ground and it crack, and the screen will crack. I've already been through with these phones. They're not very... I had an iPhone once where I tried to throw it across the room because it was driving me nuts. They wanted money for storage, and I never agreed money for storage when I bought the iPhone. I didn't even know that they had that program. But after you use 5 gig, they tell you of memory. They say, well, that's it. That's all we give you for free. You got to pay now. I don't pay. I go into my phone and I upload it to YouTube, and I go back and I'm free, you know. But they don't think that. Once they tell you that you got to pay for storage and you don't do it, they shut you down. They shut you off. Then you take your phone to... They don't have a store around here, so you got to take your phone to Best Buy, and they screw around with it, and they took my iPhone and they erased it, then tried to put their data in it, and the iPhone came back on iPhone not available. And nobody can get into it after that. So here I am with a $1,000 phone that nobody can fix, and they want me to still pay for it. Jeez. So I got rid of them all. I just gave them all back. Oh, you can't do that. You watch me. You arbitrators, I'll take you to court. I'm an American citizen. You want money from me? Take me to court, and I'll tell them what you're doing. The arbitration crap, you're all in charge of it. There's no decision for a hometown boy. You got your hometown, you know. You're going to win every time. I've already been through it. You win, 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 and I lose, 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 and I'm out of money, money, money. So how do I get my point across? Nobody listens to your tapes. You don't want to listen to somebody bitch about a phone. But I'm documenting this. Because when I do go to court, I'm going to have some ammunition. Because they have drove us nuts. My wife broke her leg over it. She had so much anxiety from it, from the phone companies and what they were doing to us. They were charging us $18 a phone for insurance. And I have 4 phones. That's more than I pay. That's a month. $18 for each phone a month. And that's more than I pay for my car, my truck, and my house a whole year. And what do they got, $100,000 phones now? No. Well, that includes the maintenance and all that other stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I didn't agree to it. But when I got the bill, it was $307, and it wasn't supposed to be. I had 4 phones and a tower. T-Mobile. So I told them, that's it. I'm done with you guys. They're charging me for a phone. It was supposed to be for free, the iPhone. Because the first iPhone I had, I smashed with a 12-ounce hammer. because they made me pay for it and they couldn't fix it. I says, well, give me another one. They says, no, you bought that. It's yours. It's your problem. Bye. And they didn't believe me that my wife, because of all the anxiety, passed out in front of the bathroom and fell on the ground and she broke her ankle. And an ambulance came, picked her up, took her to the hospital, and she was talking to me on the phone. Guess what? The phone company shut her phone down on the way to the hospital because I didn't pay for storage. Or I'm not doing just what they want. So I told them, here's your phones. I'm going to take the tower back. I messed up there. I didn't take the tower back. I should have took that back too. Because it don't work on your TV. It only works for phones. So you buy a tower. You say, oh, well, I can get rid of cable. I got the tower now. Well, only for phones. Dummy. I got to get used to all this new technology. I'm antiquated. I'm an old man. I got to get in with the thing. I mean, I'm not a child being born into it, and I know how everything works. You know, I go to school. That's what they teach you at school, how to work your phones and computers and all that stuff. You take that course. I never took one. I've been with computers since 1973. I was first introduced to a computer with DOS on it, and I used to walk around with a big tape, ticker tape. Looked like I was a investor or something, waiting for all the stock exchanges and all. I used to walk around with armfuls of cards in boxes that you had to put into the machine to program it so you can land the spaceship on Mars. Well, that was antiquated. That was way back, and that was top-notch technology. Everybody and their brother was into it because they knew that the money was going to be there. And there were some smart people, smarter than me. But I was there. I was there from the beginning. I've been there. I watched the whole thing. Now they got it so bad with commercials and ads. You can't even talk to somebody without one popping up in your face and taking over the whole thing. You can't hear the guy talking back to you because the commercial's running. That's when I got rid of them. I said, that's it. I'm done. And I walked into the store down there, and the guy looks at me and he goes, he sees my cross. I got a big cross hanging on my chest. He's got that peace symbol upside down, the Antichrist symbol. He's looking at me. He goes, if you raise your voice, I'm going to ask you to leave. And I looked at him and said, what the heck is he? So anyways, he gets my phones and he's looking at me and goes, oh, this iPhone, it hasn't worked for 9 months and you've been paying on it? I would have never paid on an iPhone that didn't work. And I said, yeah, that's what I've been doing. And my voice went up and he says, out of my store right now. I told you if you raise your voice, get out of my store. You imagine that? I took my 3 phones. My wife had hers. That's the 4th one. I didn't have my tower with me. And I backed up and I looked at him and I says, God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I turned around to leave. His 2 cronies were looking at me. They wanted to beat the shit out of me because they thought I was going to lose it. But I just blessed them and left. They couldn't do a thing. And the next time I went back, I says, I'll look and see if that guy's in there. Well, he wasn't on duty. Maybe he was on duty. He was in the back. He didn't come out because of what happened. But 2 other people were there, a man and a woman. So I gave them the phones, and I said, you going to fix them? I mean, come on. I've been going 9 months with a phone, paying every month, phone that don't work, 2 phones that don't work. I had 1 phone that I upgraded to was an S23. I upgraded it from an S22, and then they put that one on hold, but still charged me for it. Every month I'm being charged not only for the use of the phone that I can't use, but the insurance on it. Each phone. I paid it. Like a dumbass, I paid it all. Just so I don't get interrupted, so I can continue with my videos like I I've got 100 of them on YouTube. This is what I do. I'm retired. I've got a wood shop. I'm a musician, and I am not a bad musician either. I make my own songs up. I show you how I do it. It's very interesting. I'm not just somebody, that wants to make videos and doesn't know what he's doing. I know what the heck's going on here. Uh, I'm just documenting this because nobody will watch it. I look at all my films, I got 100 films. How many people watch this one? Nobody. Man, it's been 3 months or so, 4 months. Nobody's watched it. What am I doing wrong? Well, I'm exposing the truth. And here's the truth. UNGAWWA. How do you like that word? That's a new word that I'm going to prophesy all over the world. UNGAWWA. 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 What does that mean? Yeah, I'll tell you what it means. A preacher came and he was preaching to a tribe down in Africa, trying to help them all out and everything, I'm going to help you all out. I'll bring blankets and I'll get your water purified and I'll do all this stuff. And they're all going, oh, UNGAWWA. Hey, UNGAWWA. They're looking at each other. UNGAWWA. And I'm thinking, UNGAWWA. That must be a good word or whatever. So I'm casing the place out, looking at it on video and all that stuff. I can fly over anything on my video camera, on my TV. It's like I'd rather be there in the cockpit of the plane because, man, everything is documented and you just zoom down on everything, and I have a blast. So, make the long story shorter, because everybody's got time and time is precious. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to tell you what the word UNGAWWA means. UNGAWWA is the name of a fecal fly, an UNGAWWA fly. And what is going on is this is the end of time. Time is coming to an end because it's getting way so far out of hand. Human beings don't have a chance anymore because the devil's got the language. You can say one word in a sentence and it means 4 different things. Good means bad and bad means good. What happened to good meaning good? He's got control of the languages. Now he's getting control of the phones. I got a phone number. When I upgraded from the 22 to 23 S Plus, they gave me a new phone number. Day into my phone, I start seeing all this porn coming out, flashing at me. I got the videos on for my rosary and all that stuff. And then I get right in the middle of rosary, I get a flash, some guy and some woman screaming and making whatever they're doing sick on camera. I mean, what the heck is this? I don't go to those places. Why do I get in their ads and stuff? Trying to want me to join. like I want to join, yeah, right. And so I stepped back and I said, well, what am I going to do now? I got this. So I call up and I tell him, hey, you know what? You gave me a new phone, but you gave me an old phone number because the guy who had this phone number before was a porn star. He was a member of every place that was pornography. I don't go to the places. You can't find anything on my computer or my phone's porn unless it was sent by an ad somehow. Maybe it's in my computer somehow and there's a virus sitting there and ready to grab me as soon as I sin real good. No, he waits. You don't believe the fights. I was a boxer, and I says, God's in my corner. When I won the Golden Gloves and all that. God's in my corner, and everybody's laughing at me. Oh yeah, well, the Blessed Mother, does she have a card in her hand and walking around the ring saying this is the 5th round, or what does she do? Kidding me. Oh, God's in your corner, and you're a boxer. Okay. Well, God was in my corner. He wasn't in my corner. I was in his after I found out what was going on. Because all my fights were out of the ring. And what is he talking about? Every day you walk out into the world and the Jezebels are flashing everything they have at you. And you're standing and staring and gawking and going, oh, I can't take my eyes off of that. Trying to be humorous about it. But I don't do that. The minute I see temptation, bam, my eyes are off of it. And I'm thinking and doing something else. And hopefully that temptation don't come back in front of me saying, hey, how come you're not gogging and Googling on me and stuff and looking at me? Come on now. I got something here. Look at this. I try to get you to do that. I don't do that. I've been 25 years celibate with my wife after her hysterectomy. God bless her. She's gone through hell physically. She was a good woman, too. And the earth is just eating her up alive. And I'm praying to God that He heals her and that her attitude changes. Mine will change, too. Because it's not peaceful like it should be around here. That we're being attacked by the devil. Oh. The other day I went out to the lumber pile and they had delivered some lumber. They had a newbie on there. I think it was a woman. She was a little thing too. How the heck she's delivering all this? But she unloaded the truck on top of. She was new. Unloaded the truck on top of my other order that I had there, and that order was already 4 feet high. So she loaded everything on top of it. Now, when they load a truck up, they load the heavy on the bottom and to the top, the light. Then when you unload it, you got to figure out where you're going to put everything. Don't put the heavy on top of the light, because when you're unloading it, you put the light down and then you put the heavy on top of it. What happens there? It's like building the Empire State Building upside down or something. What's going to happen? It's going to. So I go out there and I just touched it with my hand, trying to move the 4x4 that was on top of the pile, 5 feet high or whatever. And it comes down like a rumbling, like Mount St. Helens exploded. And it lands on my foot. Oh my God. I'm screaming. I come in the house. My foot is as big as a grapefruit. I'm saying, oh, I broke my foot. Oh, the trap set by somebody who don't know what they're doing. They send them up here. I've done hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of business with this company too. I even built my house with this company, all my materials and everything. And I got a 2,500 square foot home. And I got 2 properties, not just one. I got 2, and I joined them together. It's a nice little, I call it a hermitage. My wife is a hermitess, and I'm a hermit. And we lived together for 25 years, just in love, like in heaven. People live together. They don't have sex. There's no sex in heaven. You can't even get into heaven with a stain of sin on your soul, because that will bloom again. If you think about it. Jesus said, if you sin in your heart, you might as well done it in the flesh. So we can't get into heaven with stain on us. So how does God get rid of that? He's got away with pain. Pain removes the stain. And that's why I'm in so much pain. My wife is in a lot of pain, too. We're going to bypass, I hope, we're going to bypass purgatory and go right into Jesus' arms. I could start crying right now thinking that. Because it's been hell. A living hell. And all I did was serve God with music. My wife was a DRE for 30 years. She retired and they gave her a little medal, pewtered medal, the church she went to and served. Thank you very much. And she got a plaque from the Pope. He retired, Benedict, when she retired. 30 years. And you don't know what you go through when you got it. When they don't go to the priest, everybody comes to the DRE with their problems. And she's there at work 9, 10 o'clock at night. Nobody knows it because they're all sleeping or they're doing their own thing. It's not church time, work time. She's there after hours. So they think she's not working because she's never there, but she's there. They don't know it. She's just there doing her job. 12 teachers supervising and everybody else's problems and all that stuff. She did that for 30 years, and I was right by her side. And up against screaming priests, too, because of some of her teachers embarrassed them. And so what does he do? He goes to the director of the department and starts shouting at her, scolding her. Your teachers are making my life miserable. She gets all that. She doesn't say, well, hey, you're too busy for all your people, and they come to me because I'm the DRE. And she got all them problems. She don't come home and share everybody's problems with me. I never heard about them. She just held them inside of her. And I went along being her husband. And why isn't, how come you're not doing this? I said, I built a house. And you said, can you keep it clean? I'm the one doing all the cleaning. And I'm the one doing all the building. And I'm the one, she's dependent on. And then now in my old age, she can't really depend on me too too good, because I am hurting. I'm hurting real bad, man. Every day is a new day of pain for me. I got to get up. My neck right now, I'm talking on the phone, is killing me because I haven't taken my medication yet. But I just felt like I have to do this quick before I lose interest in it. You ever do that? You got a project you got to do, and if you don't do it right then and there, you don't do it. No, that's what I'm doing. I'm learning. Get a project, finish it. Don't go on to 10 other projects you got laying around and never finish the project you're on. That's my problem. And my forgetfulness is because I don't have a place for my tools. If I had a home for them, and I knew where they were, on the wall or anything, it's pictured in my mind. I got a pretty good head on my shoulders. I know right where my tools are after. The only way I lose them is if I use them and don't put them back. Then I don't know where they are. So I'm learning how to do that. And I got my shop all made where I have, my floors are 1.5 inch crack in them between the boards. And down underneath that's dirt. 7 foot down underneath that's all dirt right now. That is. It's going to change in the future because I'm going to dig that out underneath. It was supposed to be done by the backhoe guy that was here. He was supposed to do that, but he made a mistake. He dug the ditch first that I needed for my support on the deck, put a block wall up. First he did that, and then he couldn't get in to dig out the cellar with his backhoe. He couldn't make it so the ceilings are 5 foot. So I'm stuck now with a 6 foot ceiling or something, bending down and walking. I got to dig everything out by hand because he screwed up. He didn't know what he was doing. He dug me a ditch. I said, I'm a footer. Digs me a ditch 18 feet deep. 18 inches deep. Jeepers. It's early in the morning. 18 inches deep. And as wide as a bucket. He had a small bucket. I said, what's that? What do you want? Anybody that knows what the heck they're doing knows that the frost line is 2.5 feet down. You don't dig a footer 18 inches down and call it a footer. Can't do that. They'll heave everything. Maybe not back here because they got the trees and all that stuff. But the ground freezes, and you get a good freeze and things heave. So that footer's got to be down. So I complained about it, and so he did. He made a footer go down 3 feet. But he had to go through the roots of the big, huge trees I have out in back there growing up against my house. He had to go through them. That right there was worth the money. That he cut all those roots going into my foundation of my house, my block foundation, which I have every 4 feet reinforced with concrete and steel rod. The whole wall, every 4 feet, has a core poured on a concrete 10-inch block. I had a friend of mine. I worked hard for him. He worked hard for me. I built my house. I remember I was mixing mud for him and all that stuff on the jobs that he had for that summer. Then when the winter came along, he didn't have any work. I says, I got that. I want to build a house. I want to put the. Well, okay, I'll do it $1 a block. How you like that price? And it's 1,300, 1,400 block that he put up. $6,000 foundation for $1,400. I even say I got my money back for working for him for nothing. I'd work a whole week and he'd give me $100 bill. I slaved for him too, mixing mud, bringing and feeding all of his masons that were working for him on the big building he was building. I had a part of it. I mixed the mud for that building. Whenever I go by it, I tell my wife, I mixed all the mud for that building there. Look at that big building. The guy gave me $100 a week. But then he made up for it because when I built my house, he worked for almost free too, which was cool. If he was just a little bit more religious, I probably would have been a good friend of his. But time tells. Who knows? He might be my friend in the end. I don't know. He's still my friend. I got lots of friends that are still my friends, but they're not religious. They don't live that life, and I can't hang out with people that don't believe in God. That's counter to me. I believe in God, and I obey His ways. And if I find myself in a situation with a friend, which I did several times, that isn't approved by God, He'll turn His face. Blessed Mother will walk out of the room. She won't watch you sin. Jesus will say, well, you can't sin like that, Billy. Mom will leave. That's what helped me make so I don't sin anymore, because I don't want my Blessed Mother leaving me. And I don't think she leaves completely, but she turns her back. And she don't want to watch me sin. She wants me to love God, and sing to Him, and praise Him with song, and be happy and joyous. And all I get is misery, pain, doom, and gloom. Where's the joy I worked for all my life? 21, I'm 74. I gave it all to Jesus. Celibate 25 years now. Like a priest. I am a priest, really. I call myself the UNGAWWA prophet. UNGAWWA. What does UNGAWWA mean? Get back to that. I'm going to say something now that's going to be very controversial. And it's probably not proved by the Catholic Church, but they're doing a lot of things that aren't, God's not approving of. First of all, they got all their money invested in oil. The guy comes along with an engine. It runs on water. What? They got all their money invested in oil? They're one of the biggest investors in oil. The church, Catholic Church. I'm telling them, take your money out of oil and put it in the magnetic pole engines. They're the future. They're what everybody's going to have, a little pocket engine, size of a silver dollar in their pocket, with all this technology they got to make micro, mini parts that you stick in computers and stuff. Oh, God, we don't know. potential. There's that force, that negative force that's between two magnets that you can't make them come together. If you got big ones, you can't make them come together because the force is too great. They won't stay together. They'll, they'll fire like a bullet away from you. Zip. You can harness that engine, harness that power, and you make an engine. And they did. It's on the internet now. All they did was curve it. They curved that energy and made it work for the motor that they made. And when does it ever? When does the motor ever lose power? I don't know. Maybe age. I've noticed that magnets aren't as strong as they were when I first got them, but they're still strong, but not as strong as I first got them. So there's got to be a way to take and magnetize things, rejuvenate that. Who knows? Maybe you can ride a bike, pedal your bike in the morning for your exercise, and charge up your induction motor battery for magnetic power. Who knows? Isn't it something if I would be a prophet like that? I prophesied that. Oh, you got all your little engines? A pile of silver dollars there. Okay, put them in the thing and then get on the bike and generate some electric into them, so you rejuvenate the battery power and stuff. Because that stuff, I think, we're finding these spaceships, and I've never seen one, but they say we have them. And that's what they're powered by. They're learning how to do it. All the technology down through the last couple decades from, there's a lot of people that are helping out. And without that technology, there's a lot of smart people, but they're using that technology. And it's there. It's obvious, people. Come on. Everybody is acknowledged there are vehicles from other worlds in our world. But not yet. They haven't taken over yet because God isn't allowing it. He's getting all of his people together for the second coming. And then you will be, having faith will be an old, antiquated thought. Because everybody's going to be looking at these new people from other planets and stuff. And there's no God. They don't have a God. So what are they? I call them demonic. Because they'll take over. As soon as you joke sin, they'll take right over. Boom, they're right in there. And if you don't say confession, like the Catholic Church has made it, oh my God, I'm really sorry for having offended you, and I detest all my sins because of your just punishment, most of all because I've offended you, my God, all good and deserve all my love. For me, so with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to penance, avoid the near occasion of sin. Amen. Avoid the near occasion of sin. And Jesus says, if you do that and clear your path, and you go to confession, and you eat my body and drink my blood, and keep your eyes off the Jezebels, my Father and I will come and make our abode with you, and your whole life will change. That's what I try to do with the Surrender Novena. I play the guitar. I'm going to go on tour here shortly. Different people. It sounds like I'm out there in left field, but I'm going to do this. You bet I'm going to do it, because I'm going to put water wells up each side of that riverbank where the children are being eaten by the ancient dinosaurs still in this world. They're down there with blowguns and spears in the bushes. God's taking them out, educating them, and bringing them to the United States, and they're taking over our churches. They become monsignors, bishops, taking them right out of the bush. The people who are dirt poor, coming up the hardest in life, and he's giving them a break. He's educating them. And then they come here and they're overwhelmed in the United States. I met people from the bush They're overwhelmed because they're so holy. People sense it, and they want to go to confession. They want to be around him. He's got a job. He has to leave the country to get some rest. Some of these priests I watched. I got a priest right now I've been working with shortly. I just found him. I didn't know he was from Kenya. He called me up last night and he says, I'm going back down to Kenya. I'm going to see Father James. What do you want me to tell him? I says, oh. And I told him, and we talked about him. I says, the first water well I think is going to have to come out of my pocket just to show everybody that I mean what I'm talking about. And then once I got that one water well, then I can take and build on that with my videos. And I just put one in. I feel good, man. You want to invest your money? Invest it in God. Because on Judgment Day, you'll get paid back. I guarantee you. You help me put those water wells, and we'll convert the whole Africa, 700 million people, into the Catholic Church. The Pope will be black. Who helped Jesus carry the cross the rest of the way to Calvary? A black man. Jesus, technically, and white people make them as white as they can make them, but Jesus technically was a black man. He was an Aramaic Jew and he was dark-skinned. This is what I've been told now. I didn't see any pictures. Who sees a picture of Jesus? I don't. But I was told by people who were educated or teaching religion and stuff. They've done the research. Jesus was an Aramaic Jew. He was dark-skinned, somewhat like a person from India. But he's a white. He's Caucasian, but he's dark-skinned. And when he was on his way to Calvary, and he couldn't carry the cross anymore, soldiers said, oh, wait a minute, get somebody from his tribe to help him out. What do you mean his tribe? He's black. He was black, so they found a black man. And the black man came in and took up the back of the cross there. I forgot what his name was. Simeon, Timothy. I forgot what his name was. What difference does it mean? He was a black man. God is going to help the cross get to Calvary and be planted by all the people that love him, whatever color they are. I look at myself and I say, I'm Italiano. My mother was considered a black person to the Swedish dive in the snowbank and back into their hot houses, dive in the snowbank, back in their hot houses. They hot and cold, hot and cold. They wouldn't let her go to church. In their church, in their neighborhood. She lived in Duluth, Minnesota, and that's where all these Swedes and light-skinned, blue-eyed, beautiful, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, very white. No, we don't want you in mixing with our children, your children. We don't want you. Get out of here. That's what they thought back then, back in the 30s, 1930s. Even before that, there was a lot of prejudice. My mother says, I'm going to Mass. No, you're not. And you got the rabble-rousers. There's those guys that are in the crowd that get the crowd going saying, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. And nobody's saying that, but all of a sudden now everybody's, hey, I'm getting into that. Yeah, crucify him, crucify him. And that's what they do. There's little few rabble-rousers that speak for the whole church. I've been up against it already. I came back to Binghamton. I went to my church. I'm not going to mention anything. But I walked into the church and I'm saying to everybody, I'm looking at everybody like I used to do back 50 years ago when I was playing guitar and all that stuff. And I had a folk group. I'd walk into the church and we'd hug and everybody was happy. We was talking and we was singing. And we were just living a good life in the church. Not this church, though. This is the church I was baptized in. But the church I had my ministry in, That's what we did. That's the way those people were. They were Slovak people. Very. Oh man, could they cook? I got really fat being a member of that church. Halupki, 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 uh, kalashki, whatever. Their cookies. I weighed 150 pounds more than I should have weighed. What a parish that is. I went back there after they denied me Eucharist. I'm now in a wheelchair, and I asked for Eucharist to bring home so my wife and I can go to Mass. And the priest denied me. He says, no, your house is not a tabernacle. Tabernacle is right here. I says, but Father, the house, this tabernacle is locked. I can't get in. When I knock on the door, you're eating and you won't answer the door. Or you do answer the door and he says, what do you want? I'm eating. I says, Father, I just come back from the Hermitage in Maine, New York. They don't know me. They're new up there. I was there 40 years ago. I built all the woodsheds up there for free. I was there way before them. And I had a chance to take it all over, make a retreat center out of it. My wife and I could have done it, but it was a job just couldn't handle. You got to have a big team. And around here, you can't get a big team for some reason. Hometown. You got too much past your history. Oh, yeah, that guy that was on the street corner and now he's religious. Oh, okay. You want to go up there and help him out? Let him tell you how he reformed and how he went from a ninth grade dropout to a college degree. And now he's a real estate broker. Was a certified school teacher for 5 years, but then I had to get my master's degree, and that was stopped. I told a story about that. I've been stopped. You wouldn't believe. The phone companies are the main ones. And I don't expect this. I don't know if this will ever be watched. This film I'm making right now. I don't know, but I'm putting it down. I'm trying. Jesus says, oh, you couch the potato. He says, make an effort. I'll take it over from there. So I'm laying on the couch. Oh, jeepers, I feel like, oh, God, I can't even get up. So I plop my foot on the ground, trying to stretch. I plop my foot on the ground, and the thought comes to me. Okay, Jesus. I made an effort. Plop. My foot was on the ground. And he looks at me, and my spirit tells me, okay, I'll take it from here. And that's what he'll do, too. He'll take it. All you got to do is make an effort. And he'll take it all over. He just wants to know that you want him to be in your life. That's all. He wants you to acknowledge it. He already knows. He's omnipotent. He's everywhere. I am who am, just like the Bible says. And then he adds, in my daydream, he adds, but I am who am, and I am everywhere. Everywhere. So the UNGAWWA FLY. That is the future of demonic. They think they're going to go down in a cloud of glory and a fire against humanity and God's decision to become a human and come back and boss all the angels around. That's what Satan did. He got 1/3 of all of his cronies. They all loved him. He was beautiful, smart. But he wasn't a man of blind faith. Thank God. And that's what God's looking for. He's looking for those who have blind faith in him and they obey him, his commandments. And not go against them like the United States did for the first time. Abortion. Now perversion can go into orphanages and adopt a child, bring it home. Not touch it, don't make it experience anything homosexual, but you're with your partner, they're listening. How many? All of us listened when we were kids that were older. Mom would dad making another brother or sister. There's, everybody's got those thoughts just about, unless you were brought up on the other side of the house. You can hear nothing. But they'll hear that. He'll adopt. The two guys will come in and adopt somebody, bring them home, and treat them good, give them a good upbringing, give him everything he needs. They're enjoying a family because they love each other. But God says you can do that. But you can't have sex. You can't stick your tongue down his throat. And vice versa, male or female. And women and men can't do that unless it's sacramental marriage. God don't make junk. And no junk is going to be in heaven, that's for sure. If you got the stain of sin on your soul, you got to go through a lot of pain to get it taken away. I go through a lot of pain every day. Forgetfulness is my thing because God's blessing me. They call it Parkinson's disease. Well, okay. You got it from Agent Orange. Yeah, I came back from Vietnam, Agent Orange. Tried to have a baby, and my wife was allergic to me. She broke out in a rash. I broke out in a rash. I said, what the heck's going on here? Did you cheat on me or something? What's going on? I got, oh, no, I didn't. And she got her doctors, and they're all saying, oh, no, it's chemical reactions. Nobody's associating Agent Orange with my chemical reaction with my wife when I came back from Vietnam. She wasn't allergic to me before I went to Vietnam, only after I came back from Vietnam. So they said, you know, she had a tumor in her womb, 6 pounds. That's what I was told by the doctor. They were going to, the doctor had mercy on us probably, but that was a 6-pound blob in her womb. And so they took her womb out, took the blob out. You take it from there. What did Agent Orange do to me? I wanted to serve my country and I got sprayed. Collateral damage, all they tacked it up. They take care of me though. That's one thing about the United States government, they know, they see the mistakes that were made and the veterans that were subject to it, and they take care of them and make it easier on them. I get one hydrocodone every 8 hours for all the pain I'm in, caused by whatever. All my stupid thoughts that I acted out. Had my left testicle removed to get into service. Everybody else is driving over the border to Canada and burning their draft cards, and I'm in the hospital getting my left testicle removed so I can serve my country. I was in boot camp with stitches in my side. And I went to Vietnam with an infection in my side. They sent me to Vietnam, and they didn't pay any attention. He's a body, send him where he's not married, send him to Vietnam, station him in Vietnam on a boat, riverboat, up the Saigon River, which was a living hell. 75 bunks and 157 men. Where are you going to put all of them? Half of them you can't even sleep in a bunk. So you go on watch. Somebody's got to take your bunk over, sleep in it while you're on watch, and doing your duty. Then when you come back, you get into your bunk, and what's that smell? What's the sweat? Because it's 110 degrees out. Somebody's been sleeping in your bunk. That's what happened to me. Guy jacked me up in the bag room where you keep your duffel bags. He was a petty officer. He says, had me by the neck up against the wall with his elbow in my throat. He said, you son of a bitch, if I catch you in my bunk again, I'm sick of smelling you and your sweat and everything. You sleep here in this baggage room. Don't sleep in my bunk again. And he pulled away. So I slept in the bag room for a couple of days. Everybody's saying, what are you sleeping in the bag room for? I go, he says that if I sleep in his bunk again, he's going to be sorry. I'm going to be sorry. I'm going to be sorry. And that was the truth. Because what happened was, they said, oh, he can't do that. Don't pay attention to him. He might be a petty officer and you're just out of boot camp, but, you're saluting everybody, out of boot camp. He says, he can't do that. So I went and slept back and started sleeping in a bunk again. Rather than sleeping on these old, what the heck is in that bag is digging in my back. So guess what happens? He's going to make me sorry. He's in charge of the hand grenades. I didn't know that at the time. Or maybe he wasn't and he got found out how he could be in charge of hand grenades being thrown overboard. Because they put lights around the ship while you're loading up your rockets. And do it in Cameron Bay. And they throw hand grenades every so often just to blow the divers' eardrums out. That stuff goes off. So it discourages anybody coming and putting a charge on the bottom of our boat or something. We take off and boom, we're the biggest thing that happens in Vietnam, the biggest explosion. So they drop hand grenades over the side. So he knows right where I'm sleeping, and his bunk was up against the bulkhead, the outside bulkhead of the ship, down underneath, 8-10 feet down, his bunk. And that's where I slept. There was a big A-frame going around me, of the boat. So I'm out cold. I worked just got through Rocket 1, and I had a duty, and then I was tired. I went in there, and I was out cold, real deep. It was really going. And this guy is throwing hand grenades over the side of the ship. So what do? He gets a whip. Somebody who's innocent and doesn't know what's going on, so he can blame it on me. He says, okay, take that hand grenade, throw it over to the side right over there. See, go over there by that thing and just throw it over the side. So the whip goes on. He goes over and he pulls the pin and throws the pin over. It goes down. Kaboom! Right in my face. I felt the percussion from it. Boom! Out of a dead sleep, I felt the percussion. And I looked at the A-frame. The A-frame was cracked. It had a big crack. What the heck? He threw the hand grenade over the side of the ship, didn't throw it out. He threw it right down next to the ship. And right where I was sleeping, under the direction of the person who bunk I was sleeping in. I'm going to be sorry. I was sorry. I got shell-shocked. I suffer from it today for that same incident that happened to me. I go through a lot of pressure and I'm in deep sleep, and that hand grenade goes off. But the government, they don't know. They don't want to hear, really, because there's so many horror stories. They feel guilty. They don't want to sit around and listen to somebody complaining about their life and how much pain they're in and everything. Put them in a depression. They're just going to take them, do the best they can for you. And the doctor I have right now, he's a foreigner. He's from overseas. But he's very stingy with pain medication, too. He doesn't give you something you're going to back into fire hydrants or bump into trees with. So that's what I'm pleased with that. But I do need medication more than what he's giving me every 8 hours. I need it every 4 hours. And I need a pill every 4 hours, not one every 8 hours. So I've been trying. I break them in half, and I take one every 4 hours. And it's pretty cool. And it's not real bad. But I still got it because I don't have enough medication. And then I got narcolepsy, and that heavy medication puts you to sleep. So I have to take modafinil, which is a form of Pergolo, something like that. It's called Pergolo. It's a high sophisticated drug that very wealthy take, because it's $1,600 for a 13 for 30 days of it. $1,600. But man, is it good. Keeps you awake, takes your narcolepsy away. Your astuteness improves about 18 to 20%, according to their calculations, because they give it to their pilots. I've been told they give it to the pilots, and the pilots' performance in a jet plane is 18% better because of their astuteness, their alertness and stuff. They don't know what the drug does either. Modafinil. Modifinil, something like that. Try it. If you're sleepy and you got narcolepsy and you fall asleep at the red lights and stuff, you got to have something. Because you're going to hurt yourself if you don't. And that's what I do. I have modafinil and the hydrocodone and my liquid marijuana. I lost 125 pounds on it. I gave it up for over 2 years. I was on the program. I lost all the weight, and then I gave it up because I couldn't eat nothing. It was making my stomach upset and everything, so I quit taking it. And I gained weight back, and I said, I got to go back on the program. So I got back on the program. Now my weight's coming down. I was below 220 after being 358 pounds, documented. Documented 353 pounds, 358 pounds at my home when I weighed myself on the scale every day. Now I got on a scale, first time yesterday, 219.2, something like that. I broke it. I broke the 20s. I'm now in my teens again. I'm going down and down, faster and faster. I think I want to get it down below 200. Then I can start doing things that I can't do right now, like roofing. I get up and roof, and I'm out of breath and I'm dizzy and stuff. You can't. That's not good. Nobody's doing anything for me, and if I was on a heavy medication, I wouldn't be up on the roof. I'd hire somebody because I would be so paranoid because I know I'd fall on my head. I'm not stupid. I guess that's enough of bitching. But to get back to the UNGAWWA, it's a fly, UNGAWWA fly. It lands on turds, fecal matter, in the field or on the river or wherever a turd floats or lies, fecal, UNGAWWA fly. That's his throne. And Satan and all his demons, they think you're going to go down in a cloud of glory, fire. This is what we believe. Okay, you loved us. Now you got to suffer forever because now the love you had for us is hate. That's what they're trying to do. Make God hate. Can't make God hate. Way above all that. What a dummy. You know, they had all the knowledge. And I said, how'd you get your knowledge? In a daydream, I was talking to an angel. I said, how'd you get your knowledge? Oh, I don't know. I just had it. God gave it to me. I was born. I was existed with it. I wasn't born. It was just came into existence with perfect knowledge, beauty, awareness. God gave them everything. And what did they do? Just what Moses did at the rock. They didn't believe God. They tapped it twice. And God says, that's it. Boom, you cast out of heaven and you hit earth face first. Wham! You looked up and you said, you felt pain for the first time. What's all this pain? Where's God? What's going on? Oh, you want to live your life without me? Give it a try. So for 2,000 years now or more, since the Bible was existence of Christianity and Judaism, I was Jewish. My whole family was Jewish. I'm a converted Jew, but I'm a cradle Catholic. I was born that, but my mother's mother was converted from Judaism to Catholicism. When she, after they got it together, after the guy that bought her, after her father sold her, come to America to be a singer, some guy, Italian guy, bought her. His name was Monteleone, Italian guy. Have good heritage too, but he was just a poor man. And owned a little farm, and he worked for some electric company or something. Brought the Gerbers home. He had 13 kids. After the fifth one, she stopped trying to run away. She came over in a boat, and father sold her, and she didn't know it. She thought she was going to America to be a singer. This little guy got her and explained to her that he was going to be her helper and give her interviews and all that. So she went along with it without anything. She was followed him and took him to the house. He got her in the house and he locked the door on her bedroom. She can't get out. After 5 kids, she quit trying to get out. She had 13 of them. She would have had 14, but one died before it was born. So my mother was the 13th. She was brought up in an orphanage because my grandfather died. I think it was diabetes. And my grandmother got so heavy she couldn't even stand up and walk. She weighed like 400 or 500 pounds. Big, huge woman. But she was beautiful too. She came over. She got depressed. She had all that potential. She had a beautiful voice. She wanted to sing. And now here I am, her grandson. And all I want to do is sing. Praise God. Be a saint somehow, maybe. All right, you're not a saint in your hometown. Don't go back to your hometown. If you're got Jesus, stay away from your hometown. Everybody remembers everything you were. Matter of fact, when I was in Florida, they did a checkup on me because the cops tried to get me one time. Tried to get me to cheat on my wife so they could tell everybody that in the neighborhood what type of person I really was, because I was arrested for adultery. I didn't have awareness of that at the time. And I was just a young 20-something, 24, 25, 26, somewhere around there. 26, 1976. So I'm in the bar, and because I still went to bars and stuff. I was trying to get it on. I still went to bars to meet people and have a few drinks and laugh and listen to some jokes or whatever. I wasn't in my hometown, but this one guy, he was an undercover agent. I didn't know it. He lived on the property where the bar was, in a trailer in the back, next to the lake. I brought my boat up there and put it in the lake. We had a good time. I had a good time with this guy. He was my best friend almost. I thought he was. So one night I'm in the bar. And I like to smoke pot. I didn't do things bad on it or anything. I wanted to just be ambient, play my music. I like playing music, being out there. So he knew that. So the bartender was a woman. She said, "I got some pot." As I was asking around, I said, "Has anybody got any pot? You know, blah, 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 blah. Stupid, you know. I'd like to have some marijuana. Against the law. I'll smoke a little bit of it. I could never have it in my house because I feel guilty after I smoked it and I flush it down the toilet. All that money. You know how many times I did that. Now it's legal and I'm okay with it. And I don't even smoke it really much because I'm a liquid marijuana guy. I take the liquid. And I lost 125 pounds on it. And it's good enough. I take just enough so I'm ambient, but I'm not out there bumping into trees and fire hydrants and everything. I got that. But lately I've been in pain real bad. I've been praying to God. I take this lesson in a little bit. So I went to the doctor the other day. He's contemplating what he's going to do. So we'll see. I put it in God's hands. His will be done, not mine. So to get back to the police officers, and the one police officer, the bartender, she was a police officer, and I didn't know it. So okay, yeah, after work tonight, you take me home, and I got some marijuana. I said okay. I wait around. I wouldn't have any plans. I don't cheat on my wife and stuff, so I didn't have any plans. But I got trucked my van with her after hours. It closed down. I took her home. She pulls out a joint. We smoke it. She's looking at me. You gonna make you move? Looking at me that way. I said, oh, I hope I didn't mislead you. I says, I like smoking marijuana. I didn't know where to get any. You said you had some, so that's why I'm here. I brought you home. I don't fool around with my wife. She's looking at me. What? You don't fool around with his wife? And that's the way it ended. I smoked the pot. I says goodbye. I says, have a nice evening. I was cordial. I was nice to her and stuff. So the next morning I get up. I get in my truck to go to the store to get a loaf of bread, milk and stuff. And my driveway comes up off of the highway. It's a little mound. So I go and I pull it to pull out, and this car comes and blocks me. I can't pull out. And he gets out of the car. Guess who it is? My friend, who is the undercover agent. He says, I got you now. He goes. He was out. He did it to a lot of priests. He really made some priests really, they had to leave the area. It was so bad. He made it so bad for them because he caught them doing things, bait them, and then catch them doing it and then expose them. And that's what he's trying to do to me. So he thought that I took her home and that we did our thing, you know, and all that stuff. And it wasn't true. He said, I got you now. Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell your wife. I'm going to tell the whole community what you did. And I'm looking at him. Did what? I'm thinking. So right after he pulls in, another car pulls up behind him. And guess who it is? His crony. His other undercover agent, woman. So he says, wait here a minute. And he goes and he talks to her. And he comes back to me and he's got this look on his face. Disappointing look. He says, okay. He says, go ahead. Go. She told him I didn't do nothing. I smoked some pot. Can't arrest me for doing that. I don't have any on me. I don't have any. Can't arrest me for doing that. But she told him, he didn't fool around. He didn't even make an effort. I don't know what would happen if I made an effort. Who knows? He might have arrested me right on the spot. And that's what I would imagine would happen. But this guy was kind of like being a friend to me, really, because he was showing me, watch out in the future there, buddy, because we're going to get you. You just step out of line and we'll get you. Because we're waiting. And that's the way it is. Not only him, he's out of my life now, 20, 30, 40 years now. But the memory is there. How I beat the devil at his own game. And I didn't even know about it. God did. God beat the devil. God was in my corner. No, I was in his corner. He was defending me. As I had children coming to my house every week for CCD, confraternity, CCD, Catholic education. That's what it means. And they came to my class for instruction every week. I played and sang the guitar and prayed and all that stuff. This guy was having a fit about it. He didn't like religion, and he thought all the priests were a bunch of hypocrites. He's going to prove it. He was going to start with me. He had already, after I found out, he had already gotten some other guys. Priests exposed him. He told me things about priests that wanted to make me quit being a Catholic. Jeez. But that ain't going to happen. I'm not going to be Martin Luther. Post everything on the door and then there's no hope for you guys. I'm going to go start my own church. No. I'm sticking it out. I'm going to work it out with the Catholic Church. It's my church. They go up and down in holiness. People get in there for false reasons. Like back years ago, you couldn't own property unless you were either clergy or you were royalty. A lot of people became clergy for false reasons, not because they love God, but because they can get wealth. And that's how the church got corrupted back then with Martin Luther pulling away. Now everybody's planting their own church. All over the place. There's like 42,000 different religions. Church, Catholic, Christians. Not Catholic, but Christians. The Catholic Church is still there. And God says it's not coming down either. I'm going to make sure it's there. So it's there in its best and it's there in its worst. But we got to see God's plan. He is omnipotent. He transcends through everything. He's in control. He's in control of me right now, and I'm talking to you. That UNGAWWA fly, that's the future of the demonic world. They're not going to go down in a cloud of glory and fire and make God remember them disappearing into the flames of eternal fire. That ain't going to happen. God's going to make them all UNGAWWA flies. And their throne is going to be a turd. A floating one in a river, maybe. Or one land, some field someplace. That's where they're going to land. They're not going to have any power anymore. All they're going to do is regret. They're going to be a fly of regret. They could have repented and asked God for forgiveness. They didn't. And I'm saying I hope they do. I'm praying. God says, pray for your enemies. My worst enemy is the devil. How am I going to pray for him? I pray that they get on their knees before Judgment Day and beg God's forgiveness. His merciful, divine, merciful forgiveness. Beg for it. On their face. Beg God to forgive them. And who knows? God of impossibility, what he'll do. If they got the chance. I am a prophet of the UNGAWWA fly. I'm telling Satan, stop it now. Get on your face and ask God to forgive you for everything you've done. And you don't think God can do that? Got another thought coming there, buddy. You're so smart. I'm just a pollywog. I'm just a pollywog. Went upstream looking for the answers, looking for life, and I found it. Thank God somebody didn't rip my arm off, or my legs, or my neck, or my head, or something. Thank God that didn't happen to me. Because here I am. I'm trying to communicate with somebody. Maybe I'll be able to communicate with everybody in Africa. Because they got to make the move. Take over the church. 700 million blacks joining the Catholic Church. Who's going to be the Pope? A black man. You watch and see. And there's been black popes. What, 700 million new Catholics in the church, fervent, on fire with the God. Satan is trying to stop that. But we're trying to stop Satan too. Satan, don't sin anymore. Get on your face and ask God for forgiveness. What is it going to do? You're the one that asked him. You said, oh, you bow down and worship me and I'll give you the whole world. Everything. You don't have to do, you don't have to die or anything. It'll all be yours. Just get on your face. Just get on your knees and worship me. Jesus just looked at him. Get behind me, Satan. Get behind me. And there was words that tells you what he really said in the Bible, you know, and you want to read about it and all that. I'm not here preaching the Bible. I'm just saying read it and obey it, because that's the way. God's word is the way. And if you eat his blood and drink it and eat his body and confess your sins, like he says, John 20, verses 19, 23, confess your sins. There's the order right from God, given in the command. Confess your sin. And they did for 1,500 years until Martin Luther came, posted all that stuff on the door. And politically right now, the kings can say, I'm going to get away from the Catholic Church. It's underneath the thumb of the Catholic Church. Oh, okay. And so one of the kings, what we got, King James Version? I don't know. It's very confusing to a lot of people. If your love is for God, he'll take it, guide you. All you have to do is make an effort. Plop your foot off the couch potatoes out there. Make an effort. Give God 2 cents. He'll turn it into $1,000,000.